31st October 1984, I died on that day. It was not a physical death. It was a death of conscience, a death of identity.
It was the total betrayal on the part of the government. We people couldn't even think of it, that they can do this to us.
The minds of the people were poisoned.
It turned out to be truly horrendous for India.
You are facing so much atrocities, torture, pressure, and still you are fighting.
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਗੋਲੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਚੱਲ ਗਏ ਤੇ ਖਤਮ ਹੈ.
I will not allow my children to face this type of situation in their life. So I decided to move them out of that.
ਮੈਂ ਨਿਊਜ਼ੀਲੈਂਡ ਆਉਣਾ, ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵਧੀਆ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੋਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਇਆ ਨਾ, ਵੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਆਇਆ ਤੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਸੁੱਤਾ, ਇੱਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਦਰਵਾਜ਼ਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੋਵੇ.
I was born in India in 1954, that is after the partition. So my forefathers flew from the Punjab area, which is now in the Pakistan. This is my father, Jagjit Singh, and this is my mother. His name was Amrit Kaur. We were brought up in a very alien, very different atmosphere. We were one or two Sikh family in the entire locality. Because of our dress up, our appearance, we were humiliated, traumatized, beaten. People used to call us a refugee son. So humiliation was a part of the life for that. So it was very, very difficult for me, my family, my mother. Then my mother told me that, son, look, if you want to be strong, kalam the power, talwar the power to zyada hondi hai. The pen is more powerful than this sword.
Sikh is a very courageous community. Our founders have taught us Deg, Teg, Fateh. Deg actually means the community kitchen, but it is the compassion. Teg is the support, and Fateh means that is both. Whenever there is a need to help somebody, to show your compassion, the Sikhs will come forward. Whenever there is injustice, even if against a third party, a Sikh will stand there to protect him. So compassion and valor both goes together in the Sikhs.
The vision of our founding fathers and mothers was a country where people of different communities could live. The role model was not our immediate neighboring countries, which were all religiously driven. We were meant to be a liberal democracy where everybody could be living with freedom and equality and fraternity and so on. Whereas what happened in 84 was not something that makes for that at all.
Mrs. Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India. And her elections to the parliament were set aside by the High Court. So that means she is no longer a member of parliament. So she could not become the Prime Minister. That is the time she declared emergency in the country. All fundamental rights are suspended. Nobody has any right. The government can do whatever the government feel like. Even the leaders from her own party from the Congress who opposed to this emergency, they were put in house arrest or they were cornered. The whole country she was able to control. She used it to save her prime ministership. In spite of all her efforts, all mighty forces which she had with her, she couldn't control the Sikh community and Golden Temple. The emergency was continued for 19 months. This is the only place where the resistance remained. Otherwise, the whole country was totally under her control. Every day for those 19 months, a jatha, a group of Sikhs, used to come out of Akal Takht shouting, Indira Gandhi Murdabad, emergency Murdabad. That's down with Indira Gandhi and down with emergency.
So there was a lot of display of that fighting spirit, which was refusing to be smothered by all the draconian measures that were put in place across the country. But then once you create this kind of force, it served as a Frankenstein's monster. It went out of control.
She called the Sikh leaders. She said, what you want, you are not my target. They say, we want the democratic rights and the fundamental rights of each and every Indian. We are fighting not for us. We are fighting to save the democracy of the country. That is the day when she turned against the Sikhs. She knew they can't be controlled. So she decided to teach them a lesson.
The Bindranwale did not lose that courage to stand up to her. That made him very popular in certain circles.
The propaganda all over India, which central government was making, that there is a Khalistan movement, and they were in Golden Temple. And government is trying to curb it.
Gurupurab is the birth anniversary of our religious founders. I mean, the Sikhs celebrate like the Christians celebrate Christmas. For Muslims, it is like Makkah. For Christians, it is the Vatican City. For Sikhs, it is the Darbar Sahib, which is a golden temple. On the day of a Gurpurab, the people came from all over Punjab to pay their obeisance to Golden Temple. They were allowed to go in, but when they were inside, they were not allowed to come out.
Dead bodies had come from Golden Temple where hands were tied. So it means they were first captured and then shot.
ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਲਾਨ ਸੀਗਾ ਨਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦਾ, ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦਾ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਕਰਨਾ। ਵੀ ਜੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਸੰਤ ਜਰਨੈਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਭਿੰਡਰਾਂ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਨਾ, ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਥੀ ਸੀਗੇ, ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਦੇਵ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦਾ ਗੁਰਪੁਰਬ ਚੁਣਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ। ਉਸ ਦਿਨ ਤੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਸੰਗਤ ਇੰਨੀ ਨੂੰ ਘੇਰਾ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਰੋਕਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਆਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸ਼ਰਧਾਲੂ ਆ, ਬੱਚੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਨਾਲ, ਬੀਬੀਆਂ ਸੀ, ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਸੀ, ਮਾਤਾਵਾਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ। ਲਾਸ਼ਾਂ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਦਿਨ ਤਰਦੀਆਂ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਤਲਾਅ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਹੈ ਨਾ।
The attack on Golden Temple was not necessary. What was the need? They could have just surrounded it and they would come out on some day. One explanation was that Mrs. Gandhi wanted to take revenge.
ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਮਰਦੀ ਦੇਖੀ ਆ ਉੱਥੇ, ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਚੱਲਦੀਆਂ ਦੇਖੀਆਂ। ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੱਸੀਏ ਤੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਬਿਆਨ ਕਰੀਏ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ। ਸਾਡਾ ਕਾਲ ਤਖਤ ਢਿਆ ਦਿਖਿਆ ਅੰਦਰ ਜਾ ਕੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਲੱਗੀਆਂ ਅੱਖੀਂ ਦੇਖੀਆਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ। ਸਰੋਵਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਫਾਈ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ 'ਚ। ਬਹੁਤ ਦਰਦਨਾਕ ਸਮਾਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਦਾ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਮਾਰ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ, ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਛੱਡਣਾ। 84 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਖਸ਼ੇ, ਬੱਚੇ ਬੁੱਢੇ ਜੋ ਸਭ। ਸ਼ਰਧਾਲੂਆਂ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਕਸੂਰ ਸੀ? ਮਨ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੁਖੀ ਸੀ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਛ, ਵੀ ਆਹ ਕੀ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ। ਕੋਈ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਹੀ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੀ। ਉੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੋਲਦਾ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਗੋਲੀ ਖਾਊਗਾ, ਹੋਰ ਤਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਉੱਥੇ।
That led to a great deal of resentment, and that resentment led to what happened on October 31, 1984.
ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮਹਾਨ ਇੱਕ ਪਾਪ ਕੀਤਾ, ਮਹਾਨ ਅਪਰਾਧ ਕੀਤਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਤਲਬ ਇੰਨਾ ਨਿਰਦੋਸ਼ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਮਾਰਿਆ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਵੀਰ ਜੀ ਸਤਵੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਵੇਖ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਉਹ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਆ ਕੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੇ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਦੱਸਦੇ, ਰੋਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਹਰ ਬੱਚਾ ਹੀ, ਹਰ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੀ ਰੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਨਾ ਵੇਖ ਕੇ। ਵੀਰ ਜੀ ਸਤਵੰਤ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਲਾਇਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਪੁਲਿਸ 'ਚ ਹੀ ਭਰਤੀ ਹੋਣਾ। ਉਹ ਕੁਦਰਤੀ ਫਿਰ ਬਰੇਲੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਯੂਪੀ, ਦਿੱਲੀ ਪੁਲਿਸ 'ਚ ਭਰਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ। ਭਾਈ ਬੇਅੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੀ ਡਿਊਟੀ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਸੀਗੀ। ਉਹ ਸੀਨੀਅਰ ਸੀਗੇ, ਸਬ ਇੰਸਪੈਕਟਰ ਸੀ। ਵੀਰ ਜੀ ਹੁਣੀ ਸਿਪਾਹੀ ਸੀਗੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਡਿਊਟੀ ਸੀ। ਇਕੱਠੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ, ਇਕੱਠੀ ਉਦਣ ਹੀ ਕਹਿ ਕੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਆ। ਉਹ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਵੀਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਪਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਤਲਬ ਪਲੈਨਿੰਗ ਬਣਦੀ ਆ, ਉਦੋਂ ਬੇਅੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਸਤਵੰਤ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਕਾਰਬਾਨ ਆ ਤੇ ਤੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਫਾਇਰ ਕਰੀ। ਵੀ ਇਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਪਲਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਕਿਤੇ ਅਜਿਹਾ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਬਚ ਜਾਏ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮਾਰੇ ਜਾਈਏ। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਬੇਅੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਦਾ ਫਾਇਰ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਬੇਅੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਇਹ ਕਿਆ, ਤੇ ਬੇਅੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਫਾਇਰ ਕਰਦਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਤਖਤ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਬਦਲਾ।
By evening, it was officially declared that she was no more.
Anger was there, but nobody sensed that there would be any kind of mistreatment or violence against the Sikh.
India is a man-driven society. The husband is the breadwinner. My father, I remember him as a hero. He was a 6 foot, very tall, very handsome man. He used to tie a turban and go in the dress. It was mesmerizing. So I wanted to be like him. He died of the brain hemorrhage. I was 12 years or something like that. Suddenly the life take a U-turn. We lost everything. We have to struggle for the basic needs, even for the finding the foods, finding the shelter. We are 7 siblings, 4 sisters, 3 brothers. On the men's side, I'm the oldest. So I became my father here. I had a huge responsibility. My sisters, they were very young, they were upcoming, so we have to educate them. I had a safety of their honor in my back of mind, and I graduated bachelor degree in 1974, and eventually I got into the Reserve Bank of India. It was 31st of October 1984. We start bank at around 10 o'clock something. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, her bodyguard shot her down, and the entire establishment started looking at me as if I have killed her. It means as a Sardar has killed. I was Sardar. There are certain people who were following me. They were shouting, "Pakdo, maro Sardar ko, maro Sardar ko." And I just grab and kill this Sardar.
These people had nothing whatsoever to do with what was happening in Delhi. There is no justification for the impunity that followed.
People are staring at you. Disrespect was coming to our community. Early in the morning, we'll leave home about 6:30, catch up the bus. Lived in Delhi, it took about 45 to 1 hour to go to the Ghaziabad. Suddenly, the army people stopped our bus. And one guy came from the front, one from the back. He said, "Any Sardar down there? So please come down." We came down, and the bus gone. We'll catch the next bus and come back. The guy who was with me, he said, "No, don't worry, I got uncle's house here, we'll go there." Early in the morning, we thought we would go to Delhi. Myself, my friend. Near the Delhi, there was a border. The army people stopped our bus. They said, "You can't go to Delhi. There's roads in Delhi. You better go back, otherwise they will kill you in Delhi." I said, "Okay." I said, "Everybody in trouble now." So people were scared. They said, "We don't want to put our life in danger." And passengers said, "Oh, no, they can't sit on the seat. They have to sit on the floor." So we can sit on the floor. Suddenly driver said, hide those guys, hide the Sikhs. There's a mob there at the front. The mob came. Some people came inside from the front. From the back, they can't see anything because we were covered. As soon as they came down, the driver just moved the bus. Suddenly, another guy was Sadaji. He lifted his head to check if they're gone or not. Somebody saw on the road that he just jumped up, started throwing the stones on the bus. We got so scared. Wet our pants.
There was a lot of concern, a lot of sorrow, and yes, there was also anger at what had happened because the assassins were members of the Sikh community. There was a lot of crowd that gathered at the hospital in Delhi, and that's where her body was located at the time. And the President of India, Gyani Zail Singh, when he was reaching the hospital, his cavalcade was attacked. And what happened to the miscreants that had attacked no less than the President of India? Nothing. Why? Because he was a Sikh. So that was some kind of a signal that was given that, if people are angry, so be it. They are justified. And if that anger turns to this kind of violence, it's perfectly understandable that people need to vent out their anger in this form.
Rajiv Gandhi, Indira Gandhi's son, became the Prime Minister on the same day when Mrs. Gandhi was assassinated. Some violence started in Calcutta on 31st. But the then Chief Minister of Calcutta, Jyoti Basu, who was from the Communist Party, he took very stern action. By 31st evening, the violence was controlled. But unfortunately, in Delhi, from 1st November morning, whole of Delhi, the mobs were out. Same modus operandi the mob followed in throughout Delhi. The same planning everywhere.
They were going mostly resettlement colonies where poor Sikhs like carpenters or blacksmiths like that, deprived sections of the people who could not resist. I shouted at some people, ekdam bounced upon me. They said, you did not speak when Indira Gandhi was killed?
In 1984, I was 2 years old. Mob is like looting the places. If they see any sign which can tell that this belongs to a Punjabi Sikh family, they'll break into the shops and then take away the materials from it. My grandmother was telling my mom that don't worry, we'll be fine. We realized we were in trouble only after when our roof was set on fire. I was sleeping inside the room and I was left behind. My family came outside the house. They thought like, it's too late now, we cannot get him out of the house. My mom said to my dad, if you don't bring him outside, I'll just jump in the fire. Somehow he managed to get inside and get me out of the house.
These mobs hardly had any local people. A lot of them were, in most instances, from outside. They were mobilized, right? They were not necessarily your immediate neighbors or people from your locality.
The police goes to the Sikhs collected in the areas. They collected in the gurdwaras. Most of them had arms. They had swords because it's usual for the Sikh to keep sword. Some of them had licensed firearms. Police tell them this instigating these mobs, you go back to your houses and nothing will happen to you. So they convinced them to hand over their arms, sent them into their houses. They were isolated and scattered. Otherwise, Sikhs were in a position to fight back. So this is a total betrayal by the then government. Police came with the mob and attacked them, caught them one by one, sitting in their own houses and killed them.
There was a girl came to say, oh, the people are coming, they're hurting their house, they're burning their cars, and a couple of streets away, 9:30 start getting west. The girl came, she said, oh, they are in our street now. Somebody is guiding them, giving directions, which house is Punjabi's house, Sikh's house. And they came to our house as well. They're knocking. The girl said, why don't jump to the back neighbors, next to neighbors? I remember that I was the last person to jump. When they break the door, they came inside. Nearly 10:30, 11 o'clock, the neighbor came and he said, I can't keep you here. With the blanket cover our heads, we've been walking. We got one shelter was further down. We didn't sleep. Again, next morning, we took another place. And there was a small room under the stairs. Whole day we stayed there. But in the night time, we can see people are yelling. You can hear everything. People are crying, yelling. Females are screaming, but they're begging for their lives. And other party was yelling loudly, like suppose you are having a fun, you enjoy your life. These things, noise is still coming in my ears. And people are begging for their lives.
One of my auntie, her son-in-law and her daughter, they used to live in Kanpur. They had 2 children. One was 3 years old and one was 2 years old. Mom, dad and sons are hiding behind the wall. Dad decided that kids are hungry. My children didn't eat and even had a sip of water since morning. Before they get sick, I need to get something for them. Wife was really urging him not to go. He said, okay, don't worry, I think everybody's gone. He jumped over the wall and went outside. Only managed to walk few steps and they come out. The mom actually, squeezed the kid's mouth that they don't cry. They jumped over him straight away. Put a tire on his neck, put petrol on tire and then put it on fire.
We people couldn't even think of it, that they can do this to us.
What we saw in Delhi happened in other places too, all over the different parts of the country. Even trains were not spared.
I want to help. I wanted to see what has happened. We took a train from Bhopal. I went with my auntie to Delhi. Before leaving, my mother told me, son, remember that you have an entire family responsibility with you. If anything happened to you, what would be their fate? So whatever you do, you must calculate. That travel from Bhopal to Delhi was a very traumatic experience, very, very, very difficult. And I don't want to remember that incident. People in my religion say, you are a weak person. You could have fought, you could have died for the religious cause. But yes, I am a weak person because on back of mind I had a concern for my 3 unmarried sister men and my family, my mother. Yes, for them I am a very wicked, very weak person. I can't say anything more on that. The Delhi life was also very, very disturbing scene. They could have called the army immediately, but they allowed things to happen for 3, 4, 5 days, given free hand to kill the Sikhs, butcher them, loot them, burn them, humiliate them, rape them, murder them. Whenever I have in my mind, sometimes I'm not able to sleep.
Everything was burnt, so we don't have money, left with nothing. And my dad was wearing a pajama and undershirt. That's the only thing my dad had. Nobody was helping us. We were told that your lives are spared. You are privileged that you are not killed.
In the moment of this crisis, first person to call would be police for anybody in this sort of situation. Police was there and they were doing nothing in all these cases, and they were right there, standing and looking at it and just letting it happen.
So many complaints were coming, so many phone calls were coming. Please come and help, please come. And people were trying to report. And they were not, police was not writing any complaint.
One very senior Air Force officer, Group Captain Talwar, he was a highly decorated officer. He was given the Mahavir Chakra. That is the second highest gallantry award for 1971 war. The mob attacked his house. His children and grandchildren were in the house. When no help came, he had no option. He took out his licensed gun, and from his licensed gun, he started firing. What happens after that? 2 truckloads of police force, with the commissioner of police, the police chief of Delhi, his next number 2, the district in charge of the police, they all came and they seized the gun of Group Captain Talwar. They arrested him because one person from the mob had died. For saving the country, he was given the gallantry award. For saving his own grandchildren, he was put in the jail because he was a Sikh.
Night time again. One lady came, she said, come with us. They were a scheduled caste family. The guy said, Sadaji, don't worry. We will die first. We will let you killed. We slept there. We slept very nicely. We were scared that time. In the morning, my friend, he said, I don't want to die. Can you cut my hair? He cut my hair too. I was a different person. When I was walking towards my home, I saw my mom is coming. She didn't saw me because I shone my head and everything. Suddenly I go and hugged her. Then she started crying. It's okay, let's go home.
There was nothing spontaneous about it. Okay, they might call it riots. Riots is again a very misleading term because it would suggest that it was a clash between two groups. Whereas in Delhi, it was completely one-sided. There were political parties that derived political mileage from these massacres, from all this bloodshed involving innocent people.
Tens of thousands of properties they burnt. Lakhs were displaced. But the total population of Delhi was not wiped out. They could not wipe out. The reason was that the government did not get the support from the opposition parties of that time. The government did not get the support from the people and the general public. Only those who were the supporter of the Congress party.
So right under the nose of the national government, the central government, which is responsible for the law and order in the capital, right? This kind of violence took place, unchecked for over 3 days. Under the rule of a party that prided itself on being a legatee of Gandhi's pacifism, peaceful methods, his non-violence. I mean, the consciousness of it being a human rights violation on a humongous scale, and there's absolutely no justification that can be offered.
This was a complete genocide. They were looking for an opportunity when they could do it. The way this was planned, it was targeted to kill many times more.
And when Indira Gandhi's cremation takes place, it's as if somebody has turned off the tap or something. Immediately after that, violence stops. Rajiv Gandhi spoke for the first time in public as the Prime Minister on November 19, 1984. And one would think that it would have been a great occasion for him to acknowledge the scale of the injustice, the scale of the violence that had just happened in that very city. Now, when he speaks, what does he say? Some riots took place in the country following the murder of Indira Ji. We know the people were very angry, and for a few days it seemed that India had been shaken. But when a big tree falls, the earth is bound to shake. This is not some throwaway line. He kicked off his election campaign with that speech. He got a short-term gain for his party, but he inflicted a long-term harm for India. I often used to be told, you are not connected with the reality on the ground. There was an attempt to balkanize our country. And if, as a result, some innocent people were killed, it's collateral damage. You have to take it in your stride. Don't lose sight of the big picture. This is the way people who belong to the then ruling party, Congress, or who are sympathizers, who were apologists, who bought into the dominant narrative of that time, used to talk.
We had submitted a list of 3,870 Sikhs who were killed in Delhi, and that list was not complete. The Congress government appointed a commission which has come out with a figure only in Delhi 2,733. Though that's not a complete figure.
one thing after another, I got a sense of the gravity of the cover-up, the brazenness of the cover-up. As a young journalist, I was doing stories relating to this, the need for justice, the need for finding out truth. You would naively assume that within a year or two, all this will be sorted out, justice will be done, the culprits will be brought to book. No such thing ever happened. For a long, long time, there was no sign of that at all. We had zero hope of a single conviction of any culprit, or much less so of any leader. Somebody like Sajjan Kumar, against who there was so much evidence. This man was a sitting member of parliament, but he had the gumption to be there in the front, leading mobs. And so he was seen by a lot of people, and yet when it came to registering cases and investigating cases or taking action, there was all this kind of denial at various levels and various forms. So how can there be any sense of closure for the victims involved in those cases?
So this is the way it happened. So it was not Hindu versus Sikhs. It was Congress versus Sikhs. All those who were the supporters of the Congress were killing Sikhs. Those who were not the supporter of the Congress, they were saving and protecting the Sikhs.
At some cases in Delhi and in other places, the local Hindu people, they saved, they secured the neighborhood. They didn't let those people to come in and burn their houses. And we appreciate those brothers and sisters from Hindu community who helped Sikhs in 84, who saved a lot of people, their lives. We really appreciate their courage and effort.
Sikhs are only 2% of the population of India, but their contribution in the freedom struggle against the British was 90%. Out of the anger from this, the people who could not take it, some of them, in fact, had gone into the militancies. We tried our best to bring back many, that we will fight the legal battle, but the police committed so much of atrocities on the innocents also. In Punjab, under the garb of controlling militancy, they killed so many number of innocent Sikhs over there. For some time, this was a very, very, very difficult time. It took at least 10-15 years for the Sikhs to settle down.
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੇ ਅਟੈਕ ਕਰਤਾ, ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਲੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਉਠਾਈ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਅਟੈਕ ਕਰਾਇਆ ਸੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਦਬਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੋਰ ਲੋਕ ਮਾਰਨੇ, ਆਮ ਜਨਤਾ ਹੋਰ ਮਾਰਨੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਤੀ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਡੈਡੀ ਵੀ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਉਠਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗਲਤ ਹੋਇਆ ਆ। ਤੇ ਉਸ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਬਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਅਟੈਕ ਕੀਤਾ ਢੋਲੇਵਾਲਾ ਚੌਂਕ ਜਲੰਧਰ 'ਚ ਲੁਧਿਆਣੇ, ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗੋਲੀ ਮਾਰੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਸੀਗੀ 92 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਮੇਰਾ ਨਾਨਕਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਹੀ ਭੋਲੇ ਭਾਲੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਪਟਿਆਲੇ ਦੇ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਇਨਵੋਲਵਮੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਆਪਣੀ ਆਮ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਜੀਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ। ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਟਿਆਲੇ ਤੋਂ ਚੱਕਿਆ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਭਰਾ ਨੂੰ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਾਮਾ ਮਾਮੀ ਦਾ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਸੀ, ਵਿੱਚੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਾਮਾ ਮਾਮੀ ਨੂੰ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਘਰੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਜਾਣੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦੇ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਨੇ ਹੀ ਚੱਕ ਲਏ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੰਮੀ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗੇ। ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹੀ ਇੰਸਟਰਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਲੱਭਦਾ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰ ਦਿਓ। ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਮਾਰਨਾ ਸੀ ਅੱਗੇ, ਉਹਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਾਮਾ ਮਾਮੀ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਤਾ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਮੀ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ 4 ਮਹੀਨਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੈਗਨੈਂਟ ਸੀ। ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ 2 ਜਾਣਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ, ਜੋ ਮੈਂ 1.5 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਭਰਾ 2.5 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਪੀ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਵਧਾ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰੂੰਗਾ। ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਪੀ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਮਨ ਬਦਲ ਗਿਆ, ਉਹਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ, ਬੱਚੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਾਰਨੇ, ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਲੰਧਰ ਛੱਡ ਆਓ ਬੱਸ ਅੱਡੇ ਤੇ, ਜੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਊਗੀ, ਮਰ ਗਏ ਤੇ ਮਰ ਗਏ, ਵੀ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਹੋਊਗੀ ਉਹ ਅੱਗੇ ਰੱਬ ਆਪੇ ਕਰੂਗਾ।
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਜੰਗ ਉਹਦੇ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਸਰੂਪ 'ਚ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਛੱਡਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ, ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਟਾਰਗੇਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਚੱਕ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ, ਕੋਈ ਕਾਰਨ ਨਹੀਂ, ਕੋਈ ਸੁਣਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਕੋਈ ਬਸ ਚੱਕਿਆ ਤੇ ਬਸ। ਗੌਰਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਆਰਡਰ ਆਪਦੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਦੀ ਫੀਤੀ ਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੀ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ASI ਸੀ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਕਰਕੇ SHO ਬਣੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ, SHO ਤੋਂ ਗਾਂਹ ਤੋਂ ਗਾਂਹ ਚੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ। ਉਹ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਮਾਵਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੁੱਤ ਆ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਭੈਣ ਦਾ ਵੀਰ ਸੀ। ਉਹ ਟਾਈਮ ਬਹੁਤ ਭਿਆਨਕ ਸੀ, ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦਾ ਘਾਣ ਕੀਤਾ ਗੌਰਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ। ਆਪਣੇ ਹੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ, ਪਰ ਵੈਸੇ ਹੀ ਉਹ ਗੌਰਮੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਚਾਲ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ, ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦਾ ਘਾਣ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਜਨਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਬਹੁਤ ਖਤਮ ਕੀਤੀ। ਬਹੁਤ ਬੁਰੀ ਹਾਲਤ ਹੈ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਹਜੇ ਵੀ। 37 ਸਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਯਾਰ, ਅਜੇ ਤੱਕ ਇਨਸਾਫ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ। ਕੋਰਟਾਂ 'ਚ ਕੇਸ ਚੱਲ ਕੇ 3 ਪੀੜ੍ਹੀਆਂ ਬਦਲ ਗਈਆਂ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ, ਅਜੇ ਤੱਕ ਇਨਸਾਫ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ। ਆਪਦੇ ਉਹ ਮਾਂ ਪਿਓ ਦੇ ਇਨਸਾਫ ਭਾਲਦੇ ਆ।
We started trying to find our life back to normal and to deal with the trauma where we were coming from after seeing what we've seen. Imagine that you don't have anything, suddenly you are with your 2 kids outside, no clothes on your bodies and your kids, and you have to start your living again. It's impossible to imagine. You can't do that.
After this 84, the Operation Blue Star as well as this genocide, Sikhs were so disappointed out of that fear of the police and oppression in Punjab. They didn't want to live in this country. They went all over. They went to US, Canada, America, Australia. Many of them went to New Zealand also.
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਗਾ ਤੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਨਿਕਲ ਗਏ ਬਾਹਰ, ਉਹ ਵਧੀਆ ਰਹੇ, ਵਧੀਆ ਮੀਨ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਸੇਫ ਕਰ ਗਏ। ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਨਜਾਇਜ਼ ਹੀ ਮਾਰ ਦੇਣੇ ਸੀ, ਉਹਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੀ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ। ਜਿਸ ਦਿਨ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਤਰੇ ਸਵੇਰੇ 7 ਵਜੇ ਧੁੰਦ ਮਾੜਾ ਮੀਂਹ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਫਟਾਫਟ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਿਕਲ ਚੱਲੋ ਕਿਤੇ ਮੋੜ ਨਾ ਦੇਣ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਗੋਲੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਚੱਲ ਗਏ ਤੇ ਖਤਮ ਆ। 89 'ਚ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਅਸੀਂ 65 ਜਾਣੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਉਤਰੇ ਸੀ। ਮੇਰੀ 22 ਸੀ ਉਦੋਂ।
What is this?
ईशा मसीह के लिए इसके अंदर लेटर पास कर
Letter पार करेगा।
सुन के
I had decided that given the opportunities, I will leave this country. That was a fallout of 1984. Sorry, very good. की लिख के पाएगा? I will not allow my children to face this type of situation in their life. So I decided to move them out of that.
ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਏਜੰਟ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਤੂੰ ਜੇ ਸਿਰ ਮਨਾ ਲਵੇਂ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਈਜੀ ਆ ਥੋੜਾ। ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮੈਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਨਾ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਵਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਟਾ ਸਕਦਾ। ਸਾਡੇ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਸ਼ਹਾਦਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਸਰੂਪ ਨੂੰ ਬਰਕਰਾਰ ਰੱਖਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ। ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਜਜ਼ਬਾ ਜਾਂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਾਂ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਗਾਈਡਲਾਈਨ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਆ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਤੇ ਭਰੋਸਾ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ, ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵਾਲ ਵਿੰਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ। ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਨਿਊਜ਼ੀਲੈਂਡ ਆਉਣਾ, ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵਧੀਆ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੋਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਇਆ ਨਾ, ਵੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਆਇਆ ਤੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਸੁੱਤਾ ਤੇ ਅਗਲੇ ਦਿਨ ਉੱਠਿਆ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਦਿਮਾਗ 'ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਬੋਝ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਆਉਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵੀ ਪੈਣੀ ਆ। ਇਕੱਲਾ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮੇਰੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦੇ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਦੇ ਗਏ। 84 ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਦੀ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਦਰਵਾਜ਼ਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੋਵੇ। ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ ਇਹ ਫਰੂਟ ਵੈਜੀ ਦੀ ਸ਼ੌਪ ਹੈ। ਵੇਖੋ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ, ਇਹ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ ਬਈ ਕਲੀਨ ਆ, ਇਮਾਨਦਾਰ ਵੀ ਲੋਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਨੇ ਇੱਥੇ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਤੇ ਪੀਸਫੁਲ ਆ ਬਹੁਤ। ਇੱਥੇ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾ ਭਈ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਝੂਠੀ ਦਰਖਾਸਤ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਥਾਣੇ ਫੜਾ ਦੂਗਾ, ਝੂਠਾ ਕੇਸ ਪਵਾ ਦੂਗਾ।
ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਕਹਿੰਨੀ ਆ ਮੇਰਾ ਕੋਈ ਘਰ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਬਣਿਆ। ਜਦੋਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਿਊਜ਼ੀਲੈਂਡ ਆਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਨਿਊਜ਼ੀਲੈਂਡ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ, ਨਵਾਂ ਦੇਸ਼ ਆ ਤੇ ਨਵਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਸਿੱਖਣਾ ਆ, ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂਘ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਨਵਾਂ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਲੈਣਾ ਆ। ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਫਰੈਸ਼ ਚੁਆਇਸ ਸੁਪਰ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਹੈ, ਉੱਥੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਐਜ਼ ਏ ਸਟੋਰ ਮੈਨੇਜਰ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਨਿਊਜ਼ੀਲੈਂਡ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਇੱਕ ਦੇਸ਼ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਪੈਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਲਚਰ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰੋ। ਇਹ ਜਿਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕਲਚਰ ਆ ਉਹਦੀ ਰਿਸਪੈਕਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣਾ ਪਹਿਰਾਵਾ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੀ ਪੈਣਾ ਆ ਤੇ ਫੇਰ ਹੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਚੋਗੇ। ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਬੱਚੇ ਦੇਖੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਲਾਈਫ 'ਤੇ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਪਿਆ। ਕੁਛ ਬੱਚੇ ਆ ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ 'ਚੋਂ ਦੁੱਖ ਸੰਤਾਪ 'ਚੋਂ ਨਿਕਲ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਕੁਛ ਕਈ ਵੀਕ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ। ਕਈ ਇੰਨਾ ਡਰਨ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਹਰ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਰ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਡਰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹਰ ਕੋਈ ਮਾੜਾ ਹੀ ਕਰੂਗਾ। ਤੇ ਕਈ ਲੋਕ ਇੰਨੇ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਝੱਲ ਲਿਆ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੇ ਕੁਛ ਵੀ ਆ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਝੱਲਾਂਗੇ, ਹੁਣ ਕੋਈ ਏਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ।
किरत करो, वंड के छको और रच के खाओ। Where you work, earn, distribute and then thrive.
ਉਦੋਂ ਸੋਸਾਇਟੀ ਕੀ ਵੀ ਸੀ, ਹਰ ਬੰਦਾ ਹੀ ਕੀ ਵੀ ਤੇ ਸੀ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਕੈਰਾਬਾਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ, ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਫਲੈਟਾਂ 'ਚ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਅਤੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਮਸ਼ੱਕਤ ਕਰਕੇ, ਕੀਵੀ ਫਰੂਟ ਦੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਟੈਬਲਸ ਹੋਏ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ। ਮਈ 93 'ਚ PR ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ। ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗਾ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰਾ ਇਹ ਪਿੰਡ ਆ, ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਆ, ਇਹ ਮੇਰਾ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਥੇ ਘਰ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ।
So 1984 has really given me a perspective to value the life. If 84 wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't have ended up in New Zealand. I never knew that I will end up with such a beautiful life to now to look forward to.
Kolo nani mama house hai.
I really feel happy that I could do something for my parents. They're living with me in this country, and my brother lives here as well. I feel really humbled of what we have done, despite the fact that what we've been through. I sometimes think about how I brought up, or how my parents are brought up, and my kids, how they see life is very different than I was looking at it when I was in their situation. I don't want them to see what I have seen, but I want them to appreciate the things what they have.
I'm here since 1989 in New Zealand. I'm married. My 3 daughters, they're all grown up. My wife works with me. I'm running a business. It's hard to forget, even 38 years now. It's hurting. That's why I don't share everything with my kids either. They know a little bit what happened in 84, that's all. I don't want to give that image to my kids. But still, somewhere in your blood, in your body is there. I was thinking about Creator. The God gifted us this life. We're not allowed to hurt anybody. Doesn't matter what color you are, what community you belong to, where you're born. We should love and respect each other. That's what I'm thinking.
Many times the people tell me that we should move ahead. I say, yes, definitely. But we shouldn't forget about it. So I say, move ahead. Let the community go. But we will not leave these people who has committed these atrocities against us.
My son say, Papa, when you have decided to move out of India, why are you hanging on your past? I said, Bete, past doesn't die. History doesn't die. That is fact, whether you accept it or not accept it. I have not lost my faith. I have not embraced any other religion. I have remained as a Sikh. Yes, outer symbol I lost because I died on 94. I died. They say dead person. But physically I have to survive. So I am surviving for that.
The members of the victim community that I used to interact with would all be still too traumatized, still too much under pressure. But in later years, I saw a different avatar of that community, a younger generation comes into being. There was a great deal of concern, anger, desire to know about their history, about what happened, bearing those scars, having those memories, and wanting to know more about it, and following up on those cases, and wanting action to be taken. That sense of justice drives everybody.
So many leaders were responsible. But this one major fish, Sajjan Kumar, when final judgment came, the Sajjan Kumar was convicted. He was given the life imprisonment. So this is some success in these cases. We are saying, implement the law of the land. That's it. This is what we are demanding. And I always tell, it is absolutely necessary for the legal system and for the strong democracy of the country that the law of the land should be upheld. Law should be above all. These people who are in power, they should have fear of law. They should not feel that today they are in power, they can commit whatever crime and they'll go scot-free.
21 years later, the Prime Minister belonging to that same party, but from the Sikh community, that is Manmohan Singh, said, "I have no hesitation in apologizing not only to the Sikh community, but the whole Indian nation, because what took place in 1984 is the negation of the concept of nationhood. On behalf of our government, on behalf of the entire people of this country, I bow my head in shame that such a thing took place."
It's the part of our practice, it's a part of our belief that we believe in help, we believe in hope. In the movement, in the times of crisis, and when the crisis was on us in 84, there was no one to actually bring any hope to us. It was unfortunate, but we moved from it.
Though they have overcome this time, the wound remains. The wound always remains.